Red Smith Sports Awards Banquet.
The main reason that this banquet was established was to honor at least 10 local area people who might not have been honored for the job they do to help in sports.
The Red Smith Award, of course, goes to someone who has made some unique contributions to sport.
Who has made a significant contribution to sports in the state of Wisconsin.
And also epitomizes the great values that Red Smith exhibited.
Let's give a Red Smith welcome.
Mark Murphy. Thank you. I love you. Yeah. Jeez. I wondered what you'd be doing if we won. All right, I'm not going to make you read a poem. So, well, thank you very much, Chuck. I appreciate those kind words, and it's a pleasure to be here. This is always such a great event. I do want to give special thanks to Mike Reese, tournament chairman of the Red Smith Committee. He's also a board member of the Packers and a real great friend. Mike, I know you're around somewhere. Round of applause. Mike, when I accepted, I didn't realize I'd be following Pat Williams. Pat, I think you missed your calling. You should be a stand-up comedian. But, you know, this always falls right during the middle of playoffs, so that's the other challenge. And when I accepted, well, first of all, I should say I'm very honored to be selected to be the main speaker. And I really thought that we'd be talking about preparing for the NFC Championship game, but that was not to be. But you know, I still, although very disappointed with the way the season ended, I still think we have a lot to be proud of, the way our team played this year, and we had a very good year. I want to recognize and acknowledge all the award winners, particularly Pat and Goose for their very deserving awards, and also to recognize the young student athletes. As Chuck mentioned, I was athletic director for 16 years, and I have seen firsthand how athletics participation can really be transformative and teach you life lessons that will be so helpful to you throughout the rest of your careers. And I applaud everybody with the Red Smith dinner, what you're doing to further both youth and high school sports. It's really meaningful. I also want to acknowledge I've got Packers have a table here. We've got a number of our employees and board members. Why don't you all stand up? We've got a number of great employees who came down from Green Bay. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about the game last Saturday, but I will. Obviously, it was disappointing. We didn't play well, and we did not have an answer for Colin Kaepernick. And, you know, it's going to be very interesting. You know, I've been involved with football at the collegiate and NFL level for a number of years. And I think you're really seeing a little bit of a sea change in the NFL, you know, with the spread offense in the college level. And, you know, over the last couple of years, you've had Cam Newton, RG3, Russell Wilson, and certainly Colin Kaepernick coming into the game. I think the feeling always was, you know, you just can't run the quarterback like that in the NFL. And I think it's interesting that two of the coaches that are really implementing those are former college coaches, Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, both having success. But I think RG3 is kind of the cautionary tale. There's risk with it, and it's going to be very interesting over the next couple of years, and actually probably over the next couple of weeks to see how teams respond to that, what defensive coordinators do. But it's really a fascinating. I think it's good for professional football. And as I said before, although I am disappointed the way the season ended, I feel we had a very good year. We faced a lot of adversity this year. I try not to talk too much about it, but the loss at Seattle was a very difficult loss. Those of you remember, of course, the media right away came up with all names for it: the Fail Mary, the inaccurate reception. And I wanted to share one story. My wife and I were in Seattle that day, and if you recall, we had the replacement officials, and I think that was the third week of the season. And she and I were having lunch, and she said, what's it going to take to end this dispute with the officials? And I said, well, it's probably going to take a huge mistake that cost the team a game in a national TV game. Little did I know I'd be describing what happened to the Packers. But, as I look back on it, to me, it was really an indication of the quality of our team, particularly our coaching staff. The way everybody handled it. I couldn't have been more proud of the way Mike McCarthy handled, obviously, a difficult situation. You lose a game that you should have won and did win. And to not let that affect us in the coming weeks, I think was really key. And, I thought our team showed a lot of resiliency throughout the year. We never used injuries as an excuse, but we had an awful lot of injuries. We led the NFL in terms of number of games missed by starters, yet obviously we're able to have a very good season and make it into the playoffs. And as I look to the future, I'm very confident about the future of our organization, both on and off the field. First, I think from a football standpoint, I think we're positioned very well to have success into the future. I have great confidence in Ted Thompson. I think he's the finest general manager in the league. I think that's been proven over the last few years, as well as Mike McCarthy. And one of the things from my position, the great relationship that they have really is crucial. And that really gives me confidence for the future. I think we're a very talented, very young and deep team, as we saw this year with a number of injuries. I would really be remiss if I didn't recognize Aaron Rodgers. We are a quarterback-driven league, and we have the best quarterback in the league. And first and foremost, I tell you, you think back, to 5 years ago when we installed him as our starter. You remember Brett Favre retired and all that ensued after he changed his mind. I don't think there's been a player in the NFL who stepped into a more difficult situation. And to watch Aaron as he's improved and really worked at his craft and developed to a point now where he's the best player, best quarterback in the league. I couldn't be more proud of him. And the other thing that is really noticeable is he's really developed into a great leader. So as you look to the future, having him right as our leader and the key player on the team is crucial. I think we have a lot of talented players in a number of different positions. I think defensively, although obviously we struggled at times throughout the year, we were much better than the previous year, and I think we have a lot of youth there, so I see a lot of improvement in that area. The other thing, it's almost kind of like college. We got a lot of red shirts coming in with all the injuries we had this year. We have a lot of very good players coming off of injured reserve. To name a few, Desmond Bishop, and to look at it, our last 3 number 1 picks were all on injured reserve this year. Brian Balaga, Derek Sherrod, and Nick Perry. And so I think gives you an idea of the kind of depth we had to withstand that kind of injury, those kinds of injuries. We do have a number of tough decisions to make. Goose and I were talking about the NFL, and one of the real challenges in the NFL is, from a team standpoint, is managing your salary cap. If you look from a broader perspective, what really I think sets the NFL apart from other leagues is the fact that we have tremendous parity, tremendous equality or equity among teams, and a very balanced league. And the main reasons for that are the hard salary cap, unlike the other sports that either don't have salary caps or have all kinds of exceptions, and then the revenue sharing. The combination of those two things have really been instrumental in the success of the Packers going back a number of years. So we've got some difficult decisions to make. Our salary cap over the next couple years is going to be fairly flat. So every team in the league's dealing with it. But I'm really confident that Ted Thompson, working with Russ Ball, will make the right decisions. The reality of the NFL is, you can't keep everybody, and you have to identify your core players and make the right decisions and move on with them. I'm also very optimistic about the business side of the Packers, and just talk a little bit about that. I think as you look back over the last couple years, the biggest issue facing the league for a number of years was our labor situation. You recall, obviously, we had a long lockout and were involved in litigation, and fortunately, we were able to resolve that. Just kind of a quick story. I got a little bit of recognition or publicity for it because it was really, I'd been on both sides of the labor relations. When I was a player, I was very active in the Players Association. I was the Redskins player rep as a player, went on to become the vice president of the Players Union, and then actually worked for the union when my career ended. And then 25 years later, I'm in my position with the Packers and was on the bargaining committee for the owners. And my wife said to me, she said, Mark, when you were a player, you always complained about the greedy owners. And now that you're in management, you're always complaining about the greedy players. So I said, well, I guess it's your perspective. But, seriously, it was difficult. I think anytime you're going through a labor situation and a lockout or a strike, and, when I was a player, really fought hard to make changes. And I'll share a story. I don't know how many of you are aware of when I was with the Redskins, our owner was a man by the name of Jack Kent Cooke, kind of a larger-than-life character. And somebody asked him what he thought about my involvement in the Players Association. Well, he said that Mark Murphy, this is how Jack Kent Cooke talked, he's a fine young man, but I don't want him as a partner. Now, that we were pushing for a percentage of the gross. And the irony is we didn't get it, but, fast forward now, and one of the very best parts of the agreement, and it's been in place for a number of years now, is the players get a guaranteed percentage of the revenue. So in a sense, the players are partners now. And I think, as we looked at the collective bargaining agreement, what we really wanted to do was to create a situation where it was a win-win for both management and the players. And I think we were able to accomplish that. We continue to have the guaranteed percentage of the revenue going to the players. One of the things that I thought was helpful is we really separated out into different buckets the different types of revenue. So for instance, national TV, where there's fewer costs involved, the players get a higher percentage. For local revenue, where we have pretty significant costs involved, the players get a lower percentage. So that's continued, and I think that's worked very well for us. From a player's perspective, the other thing, and as I look to the future now, the biggest issue facing us as a league is health and safety, particularly all injuries. You're never going to eliminate injuries in football, but trying to minimize them as much as possible, particularly concussions. And I think the long-term concern, quite honestly, with concussions is that parents, many of you have sons and they're playing football, that will look at it and say, I don't want my son to play football. And it starts to erode at, number one, our future players, but just as importantly, as Goose said, our fans. The people that have played football are more likely to go on and become fans. So it's a real challenge. One of the biggest concerns, quite honestly, is we are being sued by over 4,000 of our former players about concussions. They're saying that the league, knew that concussions had long-term effects on players, and so that's a really tough situation. We're trying to work our way through that, and we want to have great relations with our former players. I'm a former player. Every day I get a letter from a lawyer saying, join the lawsuit, sue the NFL. And it's like, must not be doing your research. The other thing that we did, and it worked to the benefit of, has worked to the benefit of the Packers, we wanted to make sure that teams and the league and the players continued to invest in new stadiums and renovations. And so through the new collective bargaining agreement, we have G4 funding, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the renovations to Lambeau Field, but we're really pleased we were able to get, it's a total project for Lambeau Field is going to be about $286 million, and we're getting $116 million from the league through a stadium loan. So that's really great for the Packers. The other thing I would say is for both players and management, having a long-term collective bargaining agreement, we entered into really an unheard of 10-year deal. That really allows us as a league, for instance, to go out to the networks and enter into long-term agreements that then guarantee the players, a percentage of that revenue for the years ahead. And then from a Packers perspective, we are able to go to our sponsors, for instance, our gate sponsors. It's really been very positive. Just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the work that's been going on at Lambeau Field. Some of you have probably seen it. It's really been it's going to be over a 3 to 4 year period. And first of all, I'd say Lambeau Field, from my perspective, is no question the best asset that the Packers have. It's an iconic stadium. People across the country want to come to see it. It's similar, I think, to what Fenway and Wrigley are to Major League Baseball. And so we are doing everything we can to improve it. And the challenge, and I think the organization did a great job in 2003, the challenge is making the changes you need to modernize it and doing it in a way where you don't take away from the integrity of the stadium, and you do it in a way where it looks like it fits in. And I think we've done that. I think the atrium that was added in 2003 was crucial, and so we're really excited about it. And really what we want to do is build on the success of the renovation in 2003. Pat mentioned the tour that we had today. What that renovation did and what the atrium did, it really changed Lambeau Field from a facility that was used 10 days a year to one that is now literally used every day of the year. It's a real community asset. We really want to build on that. And the other thing that our real focus, everything that we're doing in the stadium, is with an eye towards improving the fan experience. And the challenge here, and this is going to seem very strange, in some ways, the NFL is its own worst enemy. The experience that we provide you when you're at home watching the game on TV has gotten so good over all the years. We've got HD TV, you've got the Red Zone channel, you've got the Sunday ticket. You can sit and you can watch every game, you can go back and forth. We want to continue to make sure that experience in the stadium continues to be a great experience, and we're really proud with the Packers. We think we have a great experience, but we're not resting on our laurels. We're continuing to improve the experience. We're also very proud that of the $286 million we're putting into the stadium, there's no public money at all. It's all privately financed. And one of the things I wanted to mention, and Chuck talked a little bit about it, we're very pleased and so proud of the stock sale. It was just a tremendous success and just a great tribute, I think, to the Packer fans across the country. We netted over $64 million, and that's all going right into the stadium. And I just wanted to read one. It's great. And as I look to the future, we've got 369,000 shareholders now, and they have a strong bond to the team. We see them. They come to Lambeau Field. When we travel, they're on the road, and it's great. The only downside is that I now have 369,000 bosses. And I wanted to share, and so I'm getting a lot more letters now, and I'm not complaining, but I do want to share one letter from Patrick from California. Patrick says, I'm a new shareholder, an owner of the Packers. They always say they're an owner. And he said, I have been to Lambeau Field a couple times in recent years, most recently in December, and I want to talk to you about a couple problems I encountered. Okay? And so he says, at the December game, in the third quarter, the concession stand behind section 127 ran out of brats. Okay? And then he puts in capital letters, "How can you run out of brats in Green Bay, Wisconsin?" And then he closed and he said, "I look forward to working with you to solve these problems." So, just the Midwestern values, yeah. So I communicated with Patrick, and our general contractor is the Myron Corporation from Neenah, doing an outstanding job for us. And one of the things that I really enjoy is, be able to walk through the project and talk to the employees. We have, on average, about 250 employees per day working on the stadium now, and just to sense the pride that they have, and they want to make Lambeau Field special and improve it, and it's just been really great to see. And so, just briefly to go through the project, it's really been in a number of phases over a number of years. Last year, we added a brand new sound system that we thought was a huge improvement. This year, we added 2 brand new HD video boards, about 4 times the size of the previous boards. Not quite as big as the monstrosity down in Dallas, but quite a bit bigger. In the north end zone, we added a new area, a viewing area up in the top underneath the scoreboard, what we call the north loft. We added the Bell and Health Gate, and on the Bell and Health Gate, on the outside, we put in a clock. This is kind of an interesting story, though it's kind of a little humorous. We thought about it. We want to put a clock on it, and we wanted to do something special. So we said, let's put a clock up, and as a tribute to Vince Lombardi, we'll move it ahead 15 minutes. Lombardi time. Those of you younger kids don't realize Vince Lombardi was a real stickler on time. He never wanted people to be late. So the players on the team, and it was actually because we researched it. Well, we went to Wikipedia. And nothing more official than Wikipedia. So we weren't sure, because we'd heard it was Lombardi time 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So I went right to Jerry Kramer, and he said, "Oh, it's 15 minutes." He said, "Absolutely." I remember a rookie walked in. He was 8 minutes before 2, and Lombardi said, "You, sir, are 7 minutes late." So he said, so you had to be 15 minutes, and so what it's really about is being on time and making sure you get to meetings on time. So we put the clock up July 20th, and we said, well, we're not going to publicize it. Everybody in our staff, let's publicize them. Let's not. I said, no, this will be really good. It'll come out on its own. Well, the joke was on us. Nobody ever saw it. It was 15 minutes fast. I just think they thought we were such screw-ups that we couldn't set the time. So it's still 15 minutes fast when you drive by, and it's on Lombardi Avenue. Take a look at it. Talk to your kids about the importance of being on time for all meetings. So next year, and it should be completed, our south end zone will come online. We're going to add 7,000 seats. 6,000 of them will be general admission. Really excited about it. I think kind of like the Timble Rattlers are, when you have a chance to improve your stadium and add some seats. We're really excited about this. I think every seat is going to be outside. We polled our season ticket holders, our seat holders, and they said, we like the benches, but boy, that would be nice if we could have seat backs. So we're going to be outside seats and seat backs, and also going to have all different kinds of seating options up in the south end zone that I think will really be popular. We started the process of filling those seats, and the very first part of it was we went to our current season ticket holders, and we weren't really sure how many would move, but we were pleasantly surprised. A lot of season ticket holders decided to move and up to the seats in the south end zone, even though they're a little higher and farther away. I think they moved for a couple reasons. Number one, to get chair backs, the seat backs. And also a big reason was we have a number of fans who might have 2 seats in one section and 2 in another. They could get 4 together up in the south end zone. So, but we are, and so we've gone through that process, and now we're going to the waiting list. I guess the good news is A number of you are going to come off the waiting list. The bad news is our waiting list is 105,000. So it's gone, I think, from 85,000 when we started the construction. Just by having the construction project, we've added 20,000 people to the waiting list. So looks like we'll be able to take about 3,800 people off of the waiting list. So those of you, the people that will be coming off the waiting list went on in the early 1980s. So we appreciate your patience. Yeah. And the other thing, and we actually noticed it this year, one of the things, the most exciting thing to us with the south end zone renovation is it'll improve our home field advantage. It's going to be much, much louder. Every seat's outside. We saw it this year even, just having the structure up in the south end zone keeps much more of the noise inside. It's designed in a way so the noise will stay in the bowl and it'll be much louder. And next year, with 7,000 additional fans in that south end zone, we think it's going to be very intimidating and really improve our home field advantage. Yeah, last thing I wanted to mention is we announced last week we're moving ahead with plans to renovate the atrium. Just quickly, a number of different changes there. We've been in the atrium now about 10 years and really have seen how the businesses operate, how the atrium operates, and going to make a number of changes that we think will help our businesses as well as football. The Pro Shop right now is on the first floor of the atrium. That's going to go to the level down below where the Hall of Fame is now. It'll all be on one floor. We're actually going to excavate in front of the atrium, if you can picture that. So you'll have direct access into the Pro Shop from the north off of Lombardi Avenue and from the east. And we're going to double the space in the Pro Shop. It really should be a much better situation for us there. We're going to take the Hall of Fame, which we believe is the finest Hall of Fame now in all of professional sports, just a great facility. It's a little buried, though, quite honestly. It's in the basement. We're going to move that up to the second floor of the atrium, give it a much more prominent location. Also, with the changes over the last 10 years, what we're going to do, we're having a lot more technology. It's going to be much more interactive. I think it'll be a great change and improvement for our fans. Then in terms of our restaurant, right now that's on the second floor. Very hard to get to. We're going to move that to the first floor, and I think that'll be a much better situation for the restaurant. We're going to add a new gate on the east. Right now, if you park to the east, and we have a lot of people, a lot of gamblers, fans, and others who park in that east parking lot, it's really very difficult to go. You have to walk around and go up the steps and then go into the atrium. With a new east gate, you'll be able to come right in via an escalator. We're also going to add new and improved football facilities. Going to have a new weight room, a new walk-through area for our players, a new conditioning area, a new dining area, and a new players' lounge. So we don't want to lose sight. First and foremost is making sure that our football team has great facilities, and want to continue to make sure that our facilities are state-of-the-art and allow us to compete at the highest level. Lastly, we're going to be improving and increasing the Oneida Gate. Right now, over 50% of our fans enter the stadium through the Oneida Gate, and that's going to be coming out to come out a little farther. There'll be a plaza on top. We think it'll be a big improvement and make it much easier for fans to get in and out, and provide an area where I think we can have community events outside the stadium. The last thing I wanted to talk about was kind of some of our larger development plans. Some of you may have heard about our plans for doing things around the stadium, really with an eye towards bringing more visitors to Green Bay. And we're really excited. We've entered into a partnership with Cabela's, the hunting and fishing superstore. If you've been up to Green Bay recently, the construction is moving along very quickly on the new Cabela's. That's going to be at the intersection of 41 and Lombardi. And I tell you, maybe it tells you something about what's important to people in Wisconsin. I think people are more excited about Cabela's coming than when we won the Super Bowl. Got a lot of hunters and a lot of fishermen, but I think it's going to be a great addition to the community. Cabela's, their average store has 2 to 2.5 million visitors a year, and they're going to come in, and we did a study, and the correlation between Cabela's and Packer fans is almost 100%. So anybody that's been to one of our games in around hunting deer season knows we've got a lot of fans. So we're excited about it. Just again, in closing, I want to congratulate and thank again the Red Smith Committee for all they do in this community and in promoting youth sports. And just in closing, I would say it was a difficult loss. Don't despair. Good times are ahead. And next year, I will be here. We'll be planning on how we're going to win the NFC Championship and win the Super Bowl and bring the Lombardi Trophy back where it belongs, up in Green Bay. Thank you.
Please subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you get notified when we post another great episode or interview. Download the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for your support.